So let's go over some confidence boosting strategies for specific age and life stages. Since self-confidence can be a journey and you want to maintain that self-confidence and assurance throughout your life. Now, generally self-confidence comes down to how you talk about yourself and how you talk about others. But there are different things that you can do at different age groups. So let's start with your 20s. This era of your life is when you start navigating the world as an adult, and you might be transitioning from education into the workplace. So career and making money is a big priority. That means you're establishing who you are as a person and becoming more independent. It's also a time where there's a lot of changes to your social circle. And perhaps prior to this, you only met people through school or through other education, but now you're meeting people from all walks of life in the workplace or in social events. So navigating new relationships with people is a big factor at this age group, and that can be kind of scary, especially with dating. So here are tips on how to build that self-confidence at this specific life stage. Since self-confidence grows as you get to know yourself more and understand your likes and your dislikes, this part of your life should be about exploring the things that you do like and the things that don't fit in your lifestyle anymore. So this is a time where you want to be trying new things. Now, I'm not going to lie, this can be scary, but trying new hobbies, new skills, maybe even a new career, because the one that you thought you wanted in your teens isn't the one you necessarily want now that you're an adult. It's okay and actually pretty normal. So finding those things that you love and that you're actually good at, especially if they overlap, that can be a game changer in boosting your self-confidence. Travel is another one. People underestimate how much travel can impact your self-confidence, but it really can change who you are as a person. Especially solo travel can instantly boost your confidence because you're dealing and navigating new experiences, new places, new cultures perhaps, and the growth that comes from overcoming challenges of a new place, finding new restaurants, understanding the transport options can really go a long way in making you feel more assured and confident. Also start building those support networks through friendships and even business mentors. So mentors can be people that you actually know in person that can help you in your career or personal life, or they can just be people that you see online. Maybe their advice on social media is something that really resonates with you and you can learn a lot that way as well. You don't actually have to know the person in real life for them to be a mentor. But in your actual personal relationships, this is where you want to cultivate those healthy relationships and start getting rid of those that no longer serve you or don't make you feel good about yourself. Toxic, unhealthy relationships is one of the biggest killers to self-confidence. So if you can have strong relationship boundaries, not only in romantic relationships, but also in friendships, that can go a long way with helping you grow that self-assurance and self-confidence. Goal setting is important for most eras, but especially for your 20s. The goals that you should be focusing on is career development, personal development, and most importantly, financial independence. If you don't have to rely on anybody else for money, that's going to go a long way. You need to learn how to use that money that you make through your career or whatever work you're doing to start building that wealth. So that's investing, saving, spending less than you actually earn, and making that money work for you so that you're basically setting up your future. So if you can nail that career and financial independence, you'll be able to focus on yourself more and you'll have less stress and worry about how you're going to pay for things, where you're going to live, what you're going to eat. And lastly, keeping on top of general health and self-care, because if you look good, you're going to feel good and you're going to project that confidence outwards. So have an exercise routine that works for you. Eat a healthy, balanced diet, and don't forget about mental health as well. So perhaps that means mindfulness through journaling, yoga, breathing exercises. And if you are really struggling, perhaps with stress or anxiety, then there's nothing wrong with going and seeking out some therapy. So your 20s really is building that strong grounding in yourself and your belief in yourself and knowing what you like and don't like and setting personal boundaries. Let's move on to the 30s. So when you get to your 30s, you'll likely have a stronger sense of who you are. You'll know your likes and dislikes a lot more than you did in your 20s. Now, this does not mean that self-confidence is going to come easy, because there still will be days that you'll start to doubt yourself and doubt your choices that you've made so far. But this era is mostly focused on career, relationships, maybe starting a family if that's something that you're wanting for yourself, but mostly just reassessing your life goals up until this stage. So what should you be focusing on in your 30s to help build that confidence? Mostly you want to focus on having a really good work-life balance. This time in life, particularly for women, can be a hard one in terms of trying to decide whether they're going to go the career route or the family route, or how to juggle both of those things. It's not uncommon to feel overwhelmed by all the expectations that are put on you at this age group. So you really need to learn how to delegate and set boundaries so that you don't become that overwhelmed and you don't burn out really easily. So for work, that's setting clear boundaries about the hours that you're actually working. That can be whether you're working at a job outside the home or whether you're working at home for yourself. You need to set those clear boundaries. Sharing household duties with a partner if you have one, so you're not overwhelmed there at home. And learning to notice when you start people pleasing. I do this still in social situations where I feel like I have to work harder to make someone like me. And I really have to take a moment to center myself and go, it doesn't matter what they think of me, and bring that control back to myself. If you're trying to build your career, this is a great time to start looking into extra training or what you can do to accelerate your career at this stage, at this level. But mostly at this era, you just need to keep checking in with yourself to make sure that your choices in life are aligning with the things that you actually do want out of life. Are they still on track? Are all your life goals still on track? And is there something else you want to do before you get too old? I think it's really important at this stage in life is to start recognizing the achievements that you've already made, because sometimes we take that for granted. If we're really focusing on ourselves and what we've already achieved, and make sure that everything we're doing is still bringing us joy and happiness. So don't forget to hype yourself up in this stage of your life. And lastly, just like your 20s, you need to prioritize both physical health and mental health. I think this goes for any age group. Making sure both your physical health and your mental health is healthy overall is going to go a long way in making sure that you can do the things that do bring you that self-confidence. So those are the things that you should be focusing on in your 30s to help build that self-confidence. But what about your 40s? Now, generally when you hit your 40s and beyond, you actually have a pretty good idea of who you are as a person. By now, you kind of know what you like, what you don't like, and who you are. That's not to say that you'll be confident all the time, but mostly you have a more carefree, not really caring that much what other people think attitude when you get to this age. Usually around this time you've either established a really good career, or if you had children, they're actually starting to become adults themselves. That can be an interesting time in your life. Maybe you have aging parents that are starting to get old and you need to focus on that. Maybe you actually have some health issues of your own. This can be a time when you need to focus on your health as a priority. What can you do at this era to help build that confidence? More confidence than you probably already have. So I think mostly you understand now that professional and personal relationships are key to building that self-assurance within yourself. But also I think it's important to make sure and recognize that you have a lot of knowledge and value to give back now. Going through all of the life experiences that you have, maybe in career you can take on more leadership roles, or in your personal life you can take on more mentorship roles. That accumulated life experience is really going to help other people around you, but also helping other people is going to build that inner confidence and self-reliance as well. It is even more important at this stage to prioritize your own health. So keeping up with exercise and healthy eating like at most life stages, but I think it's imperative at this life stage. And also just slowing down and just reassessing your goals for life. Because 40s are still pretty young relatively. It's that you have now all of this life wisdom, but you're still young enough to go and do a lot of new things, traveling, maybe even starting a new career, starting new hobbies. There's so much new things that you can start at this age, especially if you do have kids that are starting to get older and no longer are reliant on you. It can open up a whole new world, and you can start exploring new social relationships at this stage as well, just to expand that social circle. But embracing new challenges at this stage is a really good way to keep that self-confidence, or just keep the excitement in your life, because you probably already have a lot of self-confidence already. It's just acknowledging your life experiences by now. And of course, strengthening those relationships with friends and family does become a priority and is important at most stages, but especially now. So those are things you can do at different life stages, different eras of your life to help build that confidence. But mostly it comes down to knowing who you are and knowing your self-worth and making sure that you have good boundaries. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.